Okay, to summarize our parts, Brian mentioned natural gas, which is, they said that renewable sources, they aren't flexible. Say you can't have solar when there's no sun, you can't have wind when there's no wind. But most of our energy generation right now is not coal, as they sort of implied. It's natural gas. Natural gas is a lot cleaner than coal, and right now it's incredibly cheap. So she said that there's very stringent standards kept in place in storing spent fuel, and that it's not a big problem because our government does a really good job. They don't do a real good job. That's on paper, it sounds real good, but a lot of times we know it doesn't work that way. Take Flint, Michigan. We all know how good we're at regulating water. They aren't exactly the most effective, despite what they say, or how good policies sound on paper. A lot of times these aren't kept through. And then as a security risk, yeah, they have security, but what's security when you fly a plane into a reactor or into a nuclear dump site? You can't stop that. They don't have air-to-air missiles protecting that. So say instead of targeting a skyscraper, say they fly a small plane into a nuclear waste dump. That could cause a lot of problems. Then they also mentioned how good they are at storing them, and when they say the pellets they kept in water, yeah, they're kept inside the reactor sites. There's nowhere to put them. Yucca Flats is closed, so right now, currently, all the spent fuel isn't kept underground or anything like they plan to. It's all kept in pools around the currently active nuclear plants. So there is no long-term solution. And when she said that something about the sun and how uranium's good, yeah, uranium's good when it's in the soil, it's not going anywhere, but when we mine it and use it, unless we're using breeder reactors, which will extend it but not permanently, it is a finite resource. You can't it's not economically feasible to make more, although theoretically you can re-enrich it, it's not economically feasible. Then they talked about how the public, if we just teach them, they'll change their minds. I doubt it. That's not really, government education about climate change hasn't worked. Why would this work? And this is something where there's climate change, you can look and say, oh, well, it's still snowing and stuff. Well, if you look at nuclear power, you can just look back to Fukushima. And when they said, we're really good, there haven't been that many accidents, there's been tons of nuclear accidents in the United States. I mean, 3 Mile Island was the biggest one, but there's plants from the 60s that were used to originally develop atomic weapons that are still radioactive, that they've done a really poor job of cleaning up because they don't have the money. It's simply too expensive to clean up a lot of these Superfund sites. And then another problem, which I got cut off so I didn't finish, is that a lot of these plants, they produce plutonium as waste as well. Enriched plutonium isn't a natural element. It's produced through reactors. And with plutonium, you have to spend a lot of money securing it. And if anyone were to actually seize it, you can make atomic bombs with plutonium. Plutonium is incredibly dangerous, and so more reactors means more plutonium being built a year, which means more programs to try to keep that protected, and increases the chances that people can buy it on the black market, sell it to Iran or North Korea.